Good afternoon. I make it 1 o'clock, time to start. So last Pilates session of the week. Just in case I forget to mention it at the end, classes are on as normal on Monday, even though it's bank holiday. So if you find yourself at a loose end, you can come and join us in our sessions. Okay, so we're going to have a nice chilled out one as it's the end of the week. So we'll have a lie down on our backs to get started. So as usual, as I always say, but if you're joining me for the first time, I'm Jen, and just work to your own level. You can stop the exercises anytime that you need to and work to the level that is suitable for your strength and experience. So we're just going to get ourselves comfortable on the floor, and we're just going to have a little setup, making sure we've got good alignment of the spine, etc. So we just need to make sure that the back isn't arching up and that we're just tilting the pelvis slightly, just so that we have a little space between the lower back and the floor. We're having our arms relaxed by our sides, and we're going to take a breath in. We're just going to start to mobilise the lower half of the body. We're just going to allow the leg to relax down towards the floor. We're going to breathe out as we slide the heel away. Breathe in as we rotate the knee back up towards the ceiling, and then exhale as you bring the heel back towards you. So we're keeping the heel down on the floor throughout the exercise, and we're keeping the rest of the body really, really still. So what I want you to do is just gently squeeze your stomach muscles, so you're pulling your belly button slightly towards your spine as you do your exercises. You're breathing in through the nose, you're breathing out through the nose. And we're going to do one more. And then we're going to switch onto the other side. If you've been alternating from one side to the other, don't worry, just keep that going. I'm just going to do a couple more on this side, and then we'll move our way up the body. Okay, we're going to bring our knees and feet together. We're bringing our arms out nice and wide by our sides. So we're just letting the arms relax on the floor. We're just breathing in to begin with, and then on the out breath, we're just gently rolling our knees to one side. At the same time, your head gently rolls in the opposite direction. And then we inhale, we return to centre, and then we exhale to the other side. So this is really lovely on the spine. And just be careful with your range of movement, don't force your legs to go too far. So the knees and the feet stay together, shoulder blades stay on the floor. I'm just going to do one last one, and then we're relaxing back in the centre, and we're just bringing our knees and feet hip width apart again, finishing off with some shoulder mobilisation. We're taking a breath in, and then on the out breath we're raising the arms. We turn our palms into each other. Once the arms are up, we take a breath in, and then as we breathe out we circle our arms, keeping our shoulder blades down on the floor, inhaling as we return towards the midline of the body. just going to complete the warm-up with a few circles in the opposite direction. So your breathing is the same as it was when we were going the other way. So we're just breathing out as we circle away, and we're breathing in as we return. I just get a little bit of a crunch in my shoulders when I'm going this way, anti-clockwise. Okay, well done. Roll over onto your side now. So the warm-up is complete. We're going to move into the main session. So we will start off today. I think we'll do some lateral hip rolls. I don't think we've done these for a few sessions. So we're going to bring ourselves down, letting your head rest on your arm. Just bring your heels up towards your bum and just have your feet lined up with your spine rather than your toes pointing forwards. So they should just be in line with your back. Head rest comfortably on your arm. We take a breath in, and then on the out breath we just lift the top knee, keeping the feet together, and then we inhale as we return. So we take a breath out as we slowly lift the leg away. So this exercise is very simplistic. There aren't any levels for me to go through with you, but the more you want to increase the intensity, the slower you will go and the more you will increase your range of movement. So keep those stomach muscles activated. What we want to do is make sure that from the waist upwards we're really, really still. So it's just that top leg that's moving. This one is a really, really good one to do if you do struggle with sciatica. It helps to relieve the symptoms. It's also a good preventative measure. So by now you should be feeling that around here. Okay, once you feel like you have done as many as you can, you're going to slide your top leg up towards you for your little release stretch. So now we're going to move on to the side bend. So we have our legs in the same position as they were previously. We place our elbow now directly under the shoulder. Just be aware of that. If it's out here, you really are going to struggle with the shoulder, so just make sure that that elbow's nice and close. We have good posture to begin with, so make sure you're not slouching down towards the mat. So keep bracing through your midsection there. Spare hand to the floor, for support if you need it. You take a breath in, and then on the out breath, the hips float up. Inhale, hip comes back down towards the mat, but before the hip touches the mat, we take another out breath and we rise again, inhaling as we come back down. So if you don't need your support hand, you can place your hand to the hip, and then as your hips float up, your arm floats up, and then the arm releases with the hip. Again, this top doesn't show very well, but my hip actually isn't touching the floor there. We'll keep our hips stacked on top of one another. So by that, what I mean is we make sure we're not rotating the hip and the shoulders. Okay, so everything remains on top of one another. And the shorter your thighs are, the less distance you will go. So it's not very far at all for me. Okay, so it is quite an intense exercise. So if you're not used to doing this one and you can only manage a handful, don't be hard on yourself for that. So we're strengthening the oblique muscles, So we're nipping in the waist, we're also strengthening the shoulder. You might feel it in your arms a little bit as well. So once we've done those 2 exercises on that side, we're just going to swing our legs round to the other side. So I think we'll do them in reverse order, so we'll get the most evil one, in my opinion, out of the way first. So we're setting up that shoulder and elbow, so elbow under shoulder, heels up to bum. Okay, so we've got that good posture, we're not slouching down. We take a breath in, and then on the out breath, the hips float up, inhaling as we come back down. And again, we're just avoiding that touch down on the mat. So if you're fairly new to this exercise and you've got to that point now where you just can't manage anymore, then you can come back down to the previous exercise that we did on the other side, those lateral hip rolls. So you can continue with this if you feel you can, but I'll just refresh your memory for those of you that need to move on if you're unsure. So you'll just keep your legs in the same position, let your head rest down on your arm, take a deep breath in, and then on the out breath, lift your knee away, inhale as you return. Definitely feeling that side already. Must be from legs, bums and tums yesterday. Excellent. So once again, we're keeping that midsection activated, so we're keeping it stable, just letting that top leg move. Okay, well done. We're going to just slide the leg up there for our release stretch. Okay, from here we're going to roll over onto our stomachs. And we're going to do the swan dive. So I always incorporate this into every Pilates session. I think it's a really important one to do. Quite often we neglect our back, we work on the front of the body and forget about the back. Okay, so we're bringing our elbows to shoulder height. We're tucking the chin in, so we're keeping length in the neck. Keep pulling those stomach muscles in, try not to let your stomach rest into the floor. We breathe in, and then on the out breath, we lift the head, shoulders, top of the chest. And then we inhale as we slowly release. And then we exhale again. So we keep our eyes looking down at the mat rather than lifting the chin. So again, it's just keeping that nice alignment to avoid any neck problems, neck pain. Your options for progression, number 1 is to let your arms float away from the floor. And number 2 is to extend the arms so they're nice and straight above the head. And then again, arms, head, shoulders, chest are lifting together. The thing we need to avoid when we're doing this exercise is lifting the legs and squeezing the glutes. So we just need to make sure that we're activating the correct muscles, in this case, the muscles that run down the either side of the spine. So again, like I said just before we started, if you need to stop any of these exercises before I ask you to, do listen to what your body is telling you. Obviously we should feel the muscles work and it should be a challenge, but not to the point where we feel that we're not able to manage to do the exercise with as good technique that we started with. When you feel like you've had enough, you're ready for a little recovery, just sit back over your heels and just let your arms rest next to your legs. Okay, good work. So we're going to bring ourselves to a seated position now. We're bringing our hands around the backs of our legs. We're sitting up tall. We're taking a deep breath in. We're tilting the pelvis and we're curving the spine. And then we're exhaling back up. So now the focus is on the abdominal muscles. Second option is to take the arms forward. Inhale, tilt, curve, roll down. Exhale. Carry on going. Then you inhale to change direction, and you exhale as you sit up tall at the top. And then option 3, we're coming all the way down to the floor. All the way back up again. What we need to avoid is kind of being in control to about here and then just letting ourselves drop down and then kind of doing this on the way back up. So it is a common occurrence in classes. So I always say it's far better to kind of do this, so not go quite as far, but maintain really good technique and control. So again, it's all about just being in tune with your muscles and listening to what they're telling you, whether they can or can't manage. And I quite often say this in my classes as well. Some days your body's just tired, so one day you might be able to go all the way down to the floor, do it beautifully, and then 2 days later you might just be really struggling. So some days your body just doesn't want to do it, so again you just adapt the levels if you need to. Do a couple more if you can manage a couple more. If not, remember you can stop anytime you need to. And then your last one, when you've done that, you're just going to bring yourself down into a full body stretch. Okay, from there we're going to bring our heels in and we're going to do the shoulder bridge. So we've got abdominal and back strength, mobility as well for the spine. Firstly, we take an inhale breath, we tilt the pelvis, we push the lower back into the floor, and then we exhale as we come up onto our shoulder blades, and then we inhale, we slowly release release down, one vertebra at a time, exhaling back into neutral. So keep as much body weight out of your arms as you can, and then the arms are not supporting your body weight. It's kind of cheating a bit if we let the arms support us. So for the progression, if you feel that you can take it to the next level, you are inhaling and exhaling as you come up. Inhale, the arms float overhead. Exhale as your hands come back down to the floor, and then inhale and exhale as you release. And I did go for the next progression, I think, when we did our last session together, which was on Wednesday. So another progression is to inhale and exhale into the bridge. Inhale, lift one foot off the floor. Exhale, straighten the leg. Inhale, bend the knee. Exhale. So it's up to you. You could, if you want to focus on the mobility aspects, come back down out of the bridge and then repeat on the other side. So you'll lift yourself into the bridge again as you inhale and exhale. Inhale, knee over hip. Exhale, straighten the leg. Inhale and exhale. So for more of a challenge, you will maintain the bridge position. Again, we're keeping the weight out of the arms. And making sure that the hips are not dropping away from the ceiling. So if you're doing that third progression and you can feel your bum's getting closer to the floor, then I would just bring it back to the previous level. Okay, so just going to do one more shoulder bridge. And then when you're ready, you can bring yourself down into lower back stretch. Bringing knees in towards us. Okay, so next we're going to do some hip work. So we're going to do the one leg circle. So I've got a couple of different variations for you. So the least intense option is to take a breath in, and then as you breathe out, raise one knee above the hip. So you're just going to place the hand onto the leg, and that's just going to help you restrict your range of movement to keep it that little bit easier. So we're breathing in from here, and then on the out breath we circle through the hip. Inhale to return. We're keeping the rest of the body as still as possible. So we need to avoid kind of movement through the pelvis and through the torso as well. To increase the intensity of that, then we will just take the support hand away, the guide hand, and that will allow us to increase our range of movement. And then the third option is to straighten the leg. Okay, so nice gentle movement. So again, we're keeping the rest of the body as still as we can, working slowly. So you're breathing really deep breaths. Breathe out as you take the leg away. Breathe in as you return. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're all going to change direction together at the same time. The breathing is the same. Breathe out as you circle away from the body. Breathe in as you return. And remember, if you just need to make it that little bit easier, just keep the knee bent, keep your shin level to the ceiling. So just going to do a couple more. A bit of a creaky hip in that direction. Creaky hips, creaky shoulders. Alright, what we're going to do now is just take the ankle to the opposite knee, and then we're just going to use the hand to push the knee away from us, and that you should feel a lovely release into the front of the hip there. Excellent. So when you're ready, we're going to repeat that on the other side. So breath in to begin with, maintain your neutral spine position, breathe out as you bring the knee up. So breathe in and then breathe out, circle, and then inhale as you return. So you can either have your hand, and that will just help you keep your movement nice and small, or like I say, you can take the option so I'm going to do a couple more in this direction. And then we're going to change direction. And keep the rest of the body still as you can. And just a couple more if you can manage another couple. And then we're taking ankle to knee, pushing the knee away. Okay, so we're going to finish off the session with a combination of two exercises together. So we're going to do some hip rolls. We did these in the warm-up, but I'll show you a progression option for that. We're going to combine that with the one leg stretch. So I'll show you how the base level works, and then I'll show you the progression. Just get rid of my mat a bit because it does get in the way. It's easier to just slide along the floor. Okay, so knees and feet together, arms by our sides. We take a breath in to begin with, and then on the out breath we just slowly lower the knees in one direction, head rolls in the opposite direction, just like we did in the warm-up. We inhale as we return. So once we're back in the centre, we exhale, we slide one heel along the floor, then we inhale, we bring the heel back to start position, and then we do both exercises on the other side. So just to avoid you getting confused with what side's doing what, if my knees have gone to the right, I then follow that up with my one leg stretch on my right leg. We just keep a slight bend in the knee and we keep our heels down on the floor. You can't see that from this camera angle, but my heel stays on the floor all the time. Your toes will lift up, but heel stays down. Progression wise, we're just bringing the knees up above the hips. The movement is the same, so you're still doing your lateral hip roll. Your knees are going one way, head's going the other. Just make sure your shoulder blade's not lifting. Keep the arm down on the floor. Inhale, return. Now your one leg stretch. You exhale, you push the thigh away, straighten the leg. So you're creating a diagonal line from your toes to your hip. Inhale, return. So bring those knees and feet together again. Inhaling, as you come back to centre, exhale, one leg stretch, inhale, return. So just do whichever level is most suitable for you. So if you need to bring your feet back down to the floor, then that's absolutely fine. The only thing I would say with that one leg stretch, it's quite common in classes for people to just straighten the leg and then bend it again. So just make sure that your thigh is actually moving away. You're creating a diagonal line from the toes down to the hip. There's some proper creaking in my hips today. It's a good creak though. So I just want you to keep going until you've done the same amount in each direction of both exercises. And I'm just going to hug the knees in towards us. I have no idea what time it is. What time is it? Oh. Okay, so we're going to bring the feet down one at a time. I'm just going to take ourselves into full body stretch now. To just roll over onto our sides and bring ourselves up to sitting position. So thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed your session, and like I say, classes are as normal on Monday, so I hope to see you then. Have a great weekend, whatever you're up to, and I'll see you next week.